please state your full name?
You guys are muted.
I'm muted.
They're muted.
They're muted.
I think the judge is muted.
They didn't react.
There you go. Okay. Try again.
Hello, can you hear me?
Sir.
Yes.
All right, thank you. This is
Hello.
Judge.
Need a public defender, though.
Do we have our public defender?
Your Honor, I can go snag him right now for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, she was actually.
Hey, what? Hey there. Good evening. I'm Carter Santini. I'll be representing here today. Let me, you guys. Just one moment, Judge, if I could just have a word with the,
Good evening, Your Honor. Just wanted to let you know that the interpreter's on the line.
Thank you. I don't think we're going to need you. Everyone is listed as English, so I guess you can be excused. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
all right, Judge, good evening. Sorry about that. We're ready to go whenever.
No problem. All right, I'm Judge Gensock. I'm going to be presiding over the hearings tonight, and Judge Millian is supervising me. And Mr. Gill, could you please state your full name?
Juan Israel Gill.
Thank you. And Mr. Gill, you're charged with one count of resisting arrest. Under the law, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. And we will be appointing the public defender to represent you. And in this case, the county is asking for a $10,000 bond. Would the defense counsel like to respond?
Absolutely, Judge. I believe that Juan should be released today. With the enhanced pretrial services or just standard pretrial services, he should be able to make his court dates as well as won't pose a further risk to the community. I would like to note that while he is on probation, I recognize that could weigh against it. That's another set of eyes on Juan. He is incredibly young, Judge. This is a child. He is 17 years old. He has confirmed housing with his mom, who has verified that she would be willing to transport him to further court dates. He is employed. He's also a student at Goodwill Youth. So I would ask that he be released to continue his education to his mother today. If you're not inclined to believe that $10,000 bond is clearly excessive given his age and his indigent status, and I believe a much more reasonable bond of $1,100 would be appropriate. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And from the state?
Yes, Judge. The state's requesting that $10,000 bond. Of most concern to the state is the fact that the defendant is on probation. He's only been on probation about a month, and the offense for that probation case is a violent offense.
Do we know if there's a probation hold on him?
No, Judge.
Okay. Okay, bond will be set at $1,100. If bond is posted, he'll be supervised by pretrial services. And the public defender's office is appointed to represent him. His next hearing is the preliminary hearing, which is August 28th, 2024 at 1:30. And do I need to notify him about Not appearing.
Yeah, just a warrant.
So, Mr. Gill, if you don't appear for that hearing, if you are bonded out, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes,
All right. Thank you very much for adjourn.
Hey, Judge.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be right.
hello again, Your Honor, Rose.
They're not gonna file it as a misdemeanor.
All right, sir, could you please state your full name?
Bradley Eugene Dean.
Thank you. And Mr. Dean, you are charged with one count disorderly conduct. It's a class 1 misdemeanor. Under the law, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you.
Where was I being disorderly?
Well, sir, we're not going to get into the facts of the case today. We're just here to set release conditions. I'm sorry. This is for a warrant for disorderly conduct that occurred August 31st, 2022.
In Arizona?
Yes, sir. All right, so,
Yes.
okay. Release a lot, okay.
Yeah.
And then- All right, hang on just a moment, sir.
And this one's South Tucson.
Yeah.
I think somebody's playing with your computers.
Yeah, hang on, sir. I'm just working on the release conditions here.
When you're old, you don't need to do it.
Okay. All right, sir, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. You do have a hearing coming up in South Tucson City Court. That's September 3rd, 2024 at 10 a.m. You do,
September 3rd.
yeah, you'll get the date. And you do need to appear for that hearing. If you don't appear, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. That should be it, right? Okay.
That's it, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir. You're
I look forward
excused.
to find out how disorderly guys are.
So that was in Green Valley.
What?
Green Valley.
Okay. And so I think, yeah, I was just gonna release him. So they can still.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah,
depend on the case.
Okay.
Yeah, so we won't give them one.
Okay. Sir, could you please state your full name?
My name is Andrew Paul Larimer.
All right, thank you, sir. And Mr. Larimer, you're charged with one count of criminal damage. That's a class 1 misdemeanor. Under the law, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. I am going to release you on your own recognizance. You have a hearing date coming up August 22nd at 8:30. That's at the Green Valley Justice Court. If you don't appear for that hearing, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
I understand. Is there a chance that I can get paperwork for that once I'm released?
You will get paperwork, yes.
Thank you.
All right, sir, and we are adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Oops.
Okay, they can do it all 4 and 4. It's all declined, so it didn't do it.
All right, so, yeah, I already went through that and I was. Okay. All right, could you please state your full name?
Rachel Minus Pel.
Thank you. And Ms. Pels, you were arrested for 2 counts, disorderly conduct, domestic violence, it's a class 1 misdemeanor, and assault domestic violence, also a class 1 misdemeanor. Under the law, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. And ma'am, I am going to release you on your own recognizance. You have a hearing coming up September 17th, 2024 at 10:30 a.m. That's in Pima County Justice Court. And you're to commit no acts of domestic violence while on release. Do you have any questions?
No, thank you. No, sir, thank you.
Okay, hang on just a moment. Did I make a change?
Failure to appear. Good,
Okay,
approved.
approve. All right, thank you. You're excused.
That was the other sentence.
I don't think I looked. Hang on just a moment, ma'am. It's not in. The warrant. How does she have?
She'll be back.
Could someone mute, please? We're,
Well, not mute, but stay away from the microphone.
whatever you want to do. All right, ma'am, could you please state your full name?
Alexandra Crystal Salazar.
Thank you. And Ms. Salazar, you have 2 cases, one with some new charges, shoplifting, class 1 misdemeanor, and the other is a warrant for contributing to the delinquency of a minor. That's also a class 1 misdemeanor. Under the law, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. And ma'am, let me just look through your release conditions here, if you could hang on. So that would be.
You can ask the judge too. They'll have to meet their judge because you don't know what that means.
Okay. Can I have you please elaborate on the minor? contributing to a minor, please?
I don't have any other information on that, ma'am. It's out of Marana City Court, so you will have a hearing on that and you can get more information at that time.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right, on that case, I am going to release you on your own recognizance. You have a hearing coming up with Marana City Court. That's on September 18th, 2024 at 10 a.m. And that should be it for that one, right? Okay, let me pull up your new case here. All right, and your new case, as I said, was shoplifting, class 1 misdemeanor. In that case, I'm also going to release you on your own recognizance. You have a hearing coming up on September 18th at 10 a.m. That's in Sahuarita Municipal Court. And I'm going to order that you
Be at both at the same time, Cindy.
do not return to the incident location.
He said this one is in Pima County, and then the other one has to be in Sahuarita, but they're both same day, same time, so I don't know. Okay, you just mentioned that the first one is September 18th at 10 a.m. and then the second one is also September 18th at 10 a.m., but they're at different courthouses.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I just realized that.
It's okay.
Hang on.
Maybe it filled itself in. Go to final review. So. For Marana.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And then Sahuarita is, the
Yeah.
same.
All
Okay,
right, we can't get it out of final review. You'll have to fix it for us.
Yeah.
Okay, so close it and she'll fix it. We'll
Okay.
get you a new date in a second, ma'am.
all right. Okay, the Sahuarita date will be September 25th at 10 a.m. At 10 a.m. You'll get some paperwork regarding that, ma'am, but thank you for catching that.
Of course.
Uh,
Yeah, and it's sometimes
I did think, yeah, I thought they sounded familiar, but,
I know. We're not paying attention.
all right, thank you, ma'am, you're excused.
Got 2 warrants, so they usually, these are warrants, and here's the charges.
Yeah.
Contracting.
Both.
They're old.
So just,
And they've got a $5,000 bond on them. I'd hold him on one.
this
and
one
then-
says
Yeah,
38.
so I'd hold him on one and release him on the other, but give him out in dates for both of them and give him a lawyer. That's what I would do.
Okay, ma'am, you're excused, thank you,
Jail.
okay,
They muted her.
Okay. you'd hold them on
I
that?
would, look at these are old, he probably owes money just. so
Okay.
he's got license.
So that's the,
It's up to you. You can do
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you want.
okay, thank you. All right, sir, could you please state your full name?
Robert Rosales Verdugo.
Thank you. And Mr. Verdugo, you were picked up on 2 old warrants, both from 2019 and both for contracting without a license. Those are both class 1 misdemeanors. And so
They just do it.
on both of them,
Yeah, well, yeah,
how do I tell which is which?
so you go, you know.
All right, so those are pre-case management costs.
Yeah, those are the in custody date.
That's a long time to be in
It is.
custody.
I think that's wrong. Should that be August 20th for an in custody on his contracting case? Yeah, August 20th.
Okay, so that's only. what days? Hang on just a minute, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And then you gotta give them.
And so that's Pima County Justice Court.
That's B is 3. One of those.
Okay,
Saul is so slammed, so they would give the other.
Joe,
Yeah.
okay. It's not picking her up.
She should show.
It's not showing her.
It's 2 Oaks though, so did you do a
Oh, I
zero?
did a 0.
Yeah, I think her is in there, so she should be showing. Now you're gonna hit select highlighted attorney. That's what
Okay. All right.
and it should repeat. To the next
So
meeting.
just and supervised by.
No,
Oh.
this meeting.
Okay. You're saying it should
next-
populate.
The next minute,
next-
we should populate the same notes.
I lost him.
There it is.
Oh, okay, great. All right, Mr. Verdugo, because those are old warrants, I am going to have to impose a bond. So the bond for both cases will be $2,500. You have a hearing coming up in just 2 days. That's August 20th, 2024 at 11 a.m. That's your case management conference. If in case you do bond out, if you do need to be present at that hearing, if you're not present, a warrant could issue for your arrest. On both matters, I'm appointing contract counsel Jill Bucklin. Do you have any questions, sir?
I can be released. I mean, I got 2 employees waiting for work tomorrow and I have to work tomorrow. I'm gonna lose my job.
Well, you can be released if you post that bond amount, sir.
How does that work? I've never had to do that before.
The jail personnel will let you know. Just ask them.
Oh,
All
okay,
right.
thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. González Rodríguez. Yeah, that's it. Something a little.
All right, sir, could you please state your full name?
Andy Gonzalez.
All right, thank you, sir. And we did receive notice that the victim, Angie Gonzalez, might be appearing. Is she here?
No.
Oh, virtually.
Nestle?
I know she's not there with you, sir. I'm asking if she's on the line. Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes, we are here.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Gonzalez, you were arrested for 3 counts: criminal trespassing, criminal facing, and interfering with a juvenile,
The judicial proceedings.
with judicial proceedings, excuse me. Those are all DV offenses. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. And before I set release conditions, Ms. Gonzalez, would you like to be heard?
Yes, please. We have a court order, an order of protection, and he continues to violate this protection. He wants to always
take us to court and contest it when obviously he continues to be a nuisance to our family and damage our property. He doesn't understand a court order. I believe he's getting dementia, and he is in no way listening to the police or the court or the judges. And we do fear for our lives because we've actually gone to California and he follows us to California. We try to lock the gates and he breaks down the gates. So yes, please do not let him out.
All right, thank you, ma'am. All right, Mr. Gonzalez, I'm gonna set bond at $1,500. You're not to possess, or you're not to commit acts of domestic violence. You're not to have contact with the named victims, and you're not to return to the victims' residences. And you do have a video review hearing set for August 28, 2024 at 1:30. So, Edie, I am going to appoint the Tucson City Public Defender to represent you. All right. Do you have any questions, sir?
Yeah, yes, sir. Illegal way around. I was assaulted by Angie with a stun gun and Cecilia Benavides too. I used to live at 1392 Monserrat Avenue, and she stole all my money, my retirement money from the railroad. 30 years of my railroad retirement, she stole it from me. And that's the reason that I want my money back as soon as possible. To
All
defend
right.
myself.
All right.
And also,
Hold on, sir. Hold on a minute. Sir, right, sir, hold on, sir. The charges are against you. They're not against her. So those are certainly things you could bring up with your attorney, but we're not going to address them here today. All right. Okay, thank you. We're adjourned.
All right.
That's
Don't. split it up.
the worst of it.
All right, ma'am, could you please state your full name?
Samantha Daniel Jones.
Thank you. Ms. Jones, you were charged with 2 counts, criminal damage? Yeah, it says deface, but must be criminal damage. Criminal damage and disorderly conduct, those are both domestic violence offenses. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. Do you understand that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. I am going to release you on your own recognizance. You'll be ordered to commit no acts of domestic violence. The victim didn't ask for no contact, so I'm not placing any restrictions on your contact with the victim. You have a hearing coming up on October 1st, 2024 at 1:30 p.m. That's the arraignment. You do need to be present at that hearing. If you're not present, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. We're adjourned.
Thank you.
Lopez.
Thank you for helping me.
Sure. A ton of different.
All right, sir, could you please state your full name?
Lopez.
Thank you. And Mr. Lopez, you were charged with 3 counts: assault, domestic violence, disorderly conduct, domestic violence, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Under the law, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. Do you understand that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. I am going to release you on your own recognizance. You'll be ordered to commit no acts of
No, go ahead.
domestic violence. You're not to have any contact with the named victim or return to the victim's residence. You do have a hearing coming up October 1st, 2024 at 1:30 p.m. That's at the Tucson City Court. If you don't,
Sir.
if you don't appear for that hearing, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor, but just let you know, those charges were from July, I believe. And me and my girlfriend been together since. We've lived together. We're raising our granddaughter together. And I don't know. I mean, we weren't fighting today or anything. I just got pulled over for I don't even know what reason, but
Okay,
Hold on. So-
hang on just a minute. Let me review the file, please.
We do, but no. You got that.
All right, sir, I'm going to remove the no contact provisions, but I am going to add no possess or consume alcohol or illegal drugs, okay?
yes, sir.
All right, and you do have that hearing coming up October 1st, like I said.
What time was that?
October 1st p.m. in Tucson City Court.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
All right, any other questions, sir?
No.
All right, thank you, sir. You're excused.
Thank you.
We all miss those.
Yeah, I didn't see that at all. Yeah. Yeah. Ma'am, could you please state your full name?
Destiny Marie Smith.
Thank you. And Ms. Smith, you were charged with 2 counts, assault domestic violence and disorderly conduct domestic violence. I am going to release you on your own recognizance, but you'll be ordered to have no contact with the named victim and not to go to the victim's residence. You do have an arraignment coming up on October 1st, 2024 at 1:30 p.m. That'll be at Tucson City Court. If you don't appear for that hearing, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Yes, the residence, I'm on the lease. That's my home.
Okay.
So, and I don't have nowhere else to go.
I'm sorry, ma'am, you'll have to find another place to live on a temporary basis.
I'm sorry?
You have to,
Okay,
you have to find another place to live on a temporary basis.
okay,
All right?
thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so now we should have, this should be Mr. Altamirano.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Safety, nice to meet you.
Okay, sir, could you please state your full name?
Gabriel Angel Alamorano.
Thank you. And Mr. Altamirano, you were picked up on 2 warrants. The first one has charges of attempt to commit murder in the 1st degree, aggravated assault, deadly weapon, or dangerous instrument, aggravated assault, temporary substantial disfigurement, burglary in the 1st degree, possession of a deadly weapon by a prohibited possessor. And then the second warrant has charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument, that's the second charge, burglary in the 1st degree of a residential structure, and disorderly conduct, displaying a weapon or dangerous instrument, that's a domestic violence charge. Under the law, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. Do you understand that, right?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, in this case, the county has asked on the first warrant for a $1 million bond, and then in the second warrant for a $500,000 bond. Would defense counsel like to be heard?
Judge, I would ask for a more reasonable concurrent bonds as to both matters. I would like to note that Gabriel does have housing here in the states or in the state of Arizona, and that $1 million bonds and $500,000 bonds are excessive.
Any response from the state?
Judge, just briefly, the nature of this offense merits a high bond. In this case, the defendant has the warrant from the domestic violence case. While fleeing from that case, he ambushed a deputy, shooting him in the leg. He had made previous comments to the domestic violence victim that he was going to shoot officers, and he does have a violent criminal history, including a 2016 case for aggravated assault. So based on that, we would ask for the requested bonds.
All right, thank you. Okay, for the first warrant, I am going to set bond at $1 million. If bond is posted, he'll be supervised by pretrial services. He's not to possess firearms or weapons, and he's to surrender any firearms. He's to have no contact with the alleged victim and not return to the incident location. And I've appointed the public defender to represent him. He's got a preliminary hearing that's set for August 28th, 2024 at 1:30 p.m. And Mr. Alamorano, if you should happen to post that bond, you do need to be present at that next hearing. If you're not present, a warrant could issue for your arrest. That's good for that one, right? Okay.
Judge, did you put a $1 million bond as to both matters?
No, for the first matter, I'll get to the second matter in just a
Oh,
moment.
excuse me.
No problem. Okay, and the next case has the same preliminary hearing date. I'm setting bond at $500,000 in that matter. The release conditions are not to possess or consume alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence, again, not to possess firearms or ammunition, surrender any firearms, and not to contact the alleged victims or return to the incident locations. Again, I'm appointing the public defender to represent the defendant. Anything else from either side?
Not from us, Judge.
Nothing from the state, Judge.
All right, thank you. We're adjourned. There's two entries for this one.
They have, this is a Superior Court warrant, and so that one's got the arraignment date. And then a misdemeanor charge. So
Yeah.
the second
All
one.
right.
Guys, and they have new misdemeanors.
That's best.
Ma'am, could you please state your full name?
Heather Best.
Thank you. And ma'am, you have two cases. You have a warrant with two charges, possession of dangerous drugs and possession of drug paraphernalia. And then you have some new misdemeanor charges, which are possession of drug paraphernalia as a class 1 misdemeanor. Under the law, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You understand that, right?
Yes.
It's, per warrant. But they say per warrant, there's only one warrant. Moment, ma'am.
But that's the defense.
Okay, defense counsel on the warrant for the drug charges, the state is asking for a $1,000 bond. Do you wish to be heard?
Yes, Judge, if I could just have a moment.
Sure.
So then the question is, do you order?
Right.
Name it. Justice court if they want lawyers or not.
If they want to appoint a counsel appointed.
Holder on $100 bonds. She's in there, click a button that she's gonna be able to just justice court. I mean, get to the justice court button. It'll show you.
Where's
So that one is JPOC. So that'll show you no holder on the justice.
Gotcha.
Court. And then when you get to that misdemeanor one, get rid of
Okay.
the order lawyer.
Yes, Judge, if I may be heard briefly.
Sure.
Judge, Miss Bess, these are drug charges. These are low-level drug offenses. Arraignments. She didn't have knowledge that the case had been indicted, and because of her living situation at the time, it had been difficult to get knowledge of that. Now that she knows it, I ask that we release her to pretrial services. That should be more than ample supervision, given the nature of these charges. She does have more stable housing now. She's residing with a friend in an RV at Jacobs Park. She does have lines of communication now to chat with pretrial services. And she has expressed to me that she's interested in being released to treatment and is getting the resources through pretrial services on where to find that treatment. So I understand the state's concerns with Ms. Bess not appearing at her arraignment, but I would like to note that with these charges, Laura Conover, the county attorney, has stated in the past that she doesn't want to see people on drug offenses being held on bonds they can't pay. Ms. Bess cannot pay the bond of $1,000, and she should be released to pretrial services and given a chance to make it at her next arraignment. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Is there a bond amount that she believes she could pay?
Let me chat with Ms. Bess for one moment.
Sure.
Judge, I believe that any bond given her situation would be excessive.
All right, thank you. Any response from the state?
Judge, I would just note that there are two failed arraignments in this case. So she was arrested, released to pretrial service, missed her arraignment. Then she was rearrested, again released to pretrial services, and missed an arraignment. So given those two failures to appear while released to pretrial services, the state does feel a bond is appropriate.
All right, thank you. I am going to set a bond. I'll reduce it somewhat to $500. If bond is posted, she'll be supervised by pretrial services. She's not to possess or consume alcohol or illegal drugs. And I will appoint the public defender's office to represent her. She's got an arraignment coming up August 26, 2024 at 1:30. And Ms. Bess, you do need, if you post bond and are released, you do need to be present at that next hearing. If you're not present, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand? Ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. All right, now she does have the new charges, so hang on, we need to address those as well. Okay. And defense counsel, any thoughts on just setting a nominal bond on the misdemeanor case so that she gets credit for time served?
That's what we would ask for, Judge.
Okay. Should I appoint the public defender's office?
Do I need to appoint a lawyer? Now that
A moment. Dennis. Okay, that should be everything, right? Okay. All right, so ma'am, I am going to set a bond of $100 in your misdemeanor case. I'm appointing contract counsel Anna Dennis to represent you. You're not to possess alcohol or possess or consume alcohol or illegal drugs. And you do have a hearing coming up, which is that's August 20th, 2024 at 1 p.m. If you are released and you don't appear for that hearing, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right. Anything? I got that.
That's it.
Is that out of city court or justice court?
That is Pima County Justice Court.
Thank you. I wasn't sure if you said that.
I might not have. Thank you.
Of course.
All right, we're adjourned. Thank you. So
She shows up a lot.
okay. You recognize her name?
Oh.
So they're not.
Speech.
So I would put that up here. Yeah. And public defender?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Ma'am, could you please state your full name?
Angela Rose Culp.
All right, thank you. And Ms. Culp, you have a felony matter, and then you also have a city court matter. We'll deal with the felony matter first. In that case, you're charged with unlawful use of means of transportation. It's a class 5 felony, and possession of burglary tools, that's a class 6 felony. Under the law, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. Do you understand that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And okay. All right, thank you. All right, I am going to release you to pretrial services, and you're not to possess or consume alcohol or illegal drugs. You're not to contact the alleged victim. I am appointing the public defender's office to represent you. You have a preliminary hearing coming up September 9th, 2024 at 1:30 p.m. You do need to be present at that hearing. If you're not present at that hearing, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And that hearing is at the Pima County Justice Court.
Okay.
All right, so hang on just a moment. We got some city court cases to deal with too. So that's ready, right?
She's not on free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And we don't have to appoint anyone.
Yeah.
All right, ma'am, your city court case has 3 charges: possession of drug paraphernalia, criminal trespass in the 3rd degree, and also another count of possession of drug paraphernalia. Those are all misdemeanors. I am going to release you on your own recognizance. You're not to have any contact with the named victim or return to the victim's residence. And you do have a hearing coming up. That is the pretrial hearing for September 17th, 2024 at 2 p.m. That's in Tucson City Court. If you're not present at that hearing, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're adjourned.
Thank you.
All right, wait a minute. Oh, they're all the same ones. Okay.
Make sure you send contact for child services. Call this number today or tomorrow or the next day. It doesn't do your attorney. That's all right. No worries.
This one is. Oh my.
Armin?
What is he?
Yes, sir.
An old, got a warrant.
And then $100 to the first and then Pima County Sheriff, Staff of Justice. So he should have to.
Yeah. All right, sir, could you please state your full name?
William Frank Harmon.
So this.
This one's the felony.
All right, sir, you have 3 cases. You've got a felony case. You've got a warrant case out of Marana Municipal Court, and then you have some new misdemeanor charges. So we'll deal with each one separately. Starting with the felony case. And the charges in that case are possession of dangerous drugs and possession of drug paraphernalia. Under the law, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. Do you understand that, right?
I do.
All right, thank you. And let's see. Release to pretrial. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, so that's good, right? All right, sir, on that, the felony matter, I'm going to release you to pretrial services. You're not to drive without a valid driver's license. You're not to possess or consume alcohol or illegal drugs. I am appointing the public defender's office to represent you. You have a preliminary hearing coming up. That's September 9th, 2024 at 1:30 p.m. If you're not present for that hearing, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
I do.
All right, thank you. Let's move on to that's the
No, that's a new case.
That's the new. Okay. All right, we'll move on to your new case, which is you're charged with driving on suspended license. And be out of custody. Hang on just a moment, sir. Released to pretrial services. Okay.
No.
No.
From us.
Okay. And not to drive without, yeah. Okay, sir, on the new charges, driving on a suspended license, I am releasing you on your own recognizance. You have a case management hearing on September 17th, 2024 at 8:30 a.m. That's in Pima County Justice Court. If you're not present, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Also, you're not to drive without a valid driver's license. And that's it on that matter. And we got one more, sir, so don't go anywhere. Okay. Oh, that's the felony. There was a warrant. There we go. Yeah, thank you. All right, so your last case, sir, is a warrant case out of Marana City Court. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. Again, you're not to drive without a valid license. You do have a case management conference coming up September 18th, 2024 at 10 a.m. That's in Marana City Court. And again, if you're not present, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
I do.
All right, that should be it. Right. All right, thank you, sir. You're excused.
Hello, sorry. Will be released this evening. Give your immediate day for the pretrial services and give your attorney a copy. Yeah, once a week, sometimes I'll maybe twice a week. And all depends what they say, but give them a call tomorrow and we need to figure out what all that's. But okay, best of luck. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you. I'm getting there. All right. He's got his well. So he's got. Yeah. Okay. All right, sir, could you please state your full name?
John.
Thank you. And Mr. Lemons, you have two cases. You've got a felony case with new charges. And those charges are possession of narcotic drugs, possession of drug paraphernalia, and shoplifting. Under the law, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. Do you understand that, right? You also have a warrant, which we'll deal with separately. So we'll address the felony charge first. And okay. From the state, I see that you're asking for a no bond hold. What is that in relation to?
Your Honor, he is pending in a separate felony offense.
All right, so hold without bond.
Judge, if I may be heard, he's actually taking a plea on that offense. I don't know if that would actually qualify for a no bond, given that he's actually been convicted of that offense and he's not on release.
Okay. So he's taken the plea, but has he been sentenced yet?
Sentencing is scheduled for September 16th.
Okay, so he'd still be on.
Well, so when he took the, when did he take the plea?
When did he take the plea?
August 8th.
And then he was released?
He's been released.
He's been
And
released,
has actually not had a failure to appear in this case.
but he got arrested August 18th, so he was released pending sentencing, right?
Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so are you still challenging the hold without bond?
No, we can set a date.
All right. Okay, so the no bond hearing is set for August 23rd at 2:30 p.m. And he's also got the preliminary hearing for August 28th, 2024 at 1:30 p.m. I've appointed the public defender's office to represent him. That should be everything. But he's being held.
Well, that's good.
All right, just in case the release conditions change, I am ordering that he not return to the incident location. Okay, so that's done. Yeah, okay.
money hold on him. It's justice.
Okay. And pre-trial services?
No.
No.
This week.
Okay.
You could give him, Anna Dennis or Joe Coogan.
Okay. Hang on just a moment, sir. Okay, so he would get the
820.
820, yeah. At 1 p.m. Okay. All right, then we'll move on to the next case. That's 1 count of criminal damage, a class 1 misdemeanor. I am going to dollars in that matter.
Yeah.
We've got a case management conference for August 20th, 2024 at 1 p.m. And no contact. I'm ordering that he not contact the alleged victim. And I'm appointing contact counsel. If he is released between now and then, Mr. Lemons, you do need to be present at that next hearing. If you're not present, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes. I got,
All right, thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. You're excused.
That's the look. Yeah, that's well, $1 maybe still don't know bond, right?
Yeah, for now. Review hearing on the 23rd. All right, it's good.
Busy right now, man.
Yeah, man, I'm sure.
All right, sir, could you please state your full name?
This is Onre Scott.
All right, Mr. Scott, you are charged with 3 counts: aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, unlawful discharge of a firearm, and weapons misconduct, prohibited possessor. Under the law, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. Do you understand that, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, and in this case, the state is asking for a bond of $100,000. Defense, do you want to be heard on that matter?
Yes, Judge. Mr. Scott would like to be released today, Judge. I would like to point that he does have confirmed housing. He does have somebody who would be willing to provide third-party custody through his grandfather, John. I believe that, in addition to the supervision of pretrial services, should intend that Mr. Scott does make his court appearances. I would also like to note that the medical condition that Mr. Scott finds himself in the jail, as you might observe, he does have a gash in his head. I think that the medical condition, the medical care in the jail is insufficient to treat that. So I would ask for his release based upon those and the fact that he is a lifelong Tucson resident, not a flight risk. And this is his first offense since his release from prison in 2018. So I would ask for his release for those matters. If you're not inclined to release, Judge, I would like to point that he is indigent and that an $1,100 bond would be sufficient to ensure that he makes his future court appearances.
All right, thank you. Any response from the state?
Judge, the state would ask for the bond based on the nature of this offense involving a deadly weapon, the fact that the defendant has an active NVCA flag, and his 2 prior convictions were for negligent homicide and disorderly conduct with a weapon. The original charges were second-degree murder and aggravated assault. So based on the defendant's violent criminal history as well as the violence of this current offense, we've asked for the $100,000 bond.
All right, thank you. All right, I am going to set bond at $100,000. If bond is posted, he'll be supervised by pretrial services. He's not to possess or consume alcohol or illegal drugs. He's not to possess firearms or ammunition and to surrender any firearms. And he's not to have contact with the alleged victims or return to the incident location. And I am appointing the Public Defender's Office to represent him. He's got a preliminary hearing coming up August 28th, 2024 at 1:30 p.m. Mr. Scott, if you are released, you do need to be present at that next hearing. If you're not present, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's everything. All right, thank you very much. We're adjourned.
So let's do attorney talk. One moment, Judge.
That's the last one. Because she's the last.
Yeah.
All right, we're ready to go, Judge. Sorry about that.
All right, ma'am, could you please state your full name?
Shenise Marie Start.
Thank you. And ma'am, your charges are possession of dangerous drugs and possession of drug paraphernalia. Under the law, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. Do you understand that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We're
I just read this part, so we never say it again. But we drew that.
All right, ma'am, you appear to be eligible to participate in a diversion program that's called STEPS. That only requires you to participate in a plan specific to your needs for a short time. If you choose to participate and complete the program, these felony drug accusations in your arrest report will be permanently dismissed without you ever being formally charged. Are you in?
Okay. Yes, I'm very interested.
Okay, all right, let me set that up. So there wouldn't be a preliminary hearing?
Yeah, what?
There still would.
Yeah.
It's a good program.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
You'll have an advocate, it can walk you through it. It's just the drug treatment of 60 days or so, and you'll avoid the whole mess. So yeah, no worries, of course, of course.
Okay, ma'am. I'm gonna release you to pretrial services. You're not to possess or consume alcohol or illegal drugs. And I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Now you have two hearings coming up. You've got the SMART court hearing. That's the diversion that I mentioned. That's August 27th at 2024 at 9 a.m. And then you have a hearing the next day.
She's getting.
Okay, I'm sorry. Not the next day. Hang on. Okay. All right, I'm sorry. So the other hearing, your preliminary hearing, that's set for September 9th, 2024 at 1:30 p.m. You need to be present for both of those hearings. If you're not present, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's it, right?
Excuse the attorneys and then do.
All right, the attorneys can be excused. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good night.
Thanks, Brad. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So on that last one, the felony interested.
Hang on, sir.
Yeah, was he gonna dismiss it? No, yeah.
Sir, could you please state your full name?
Matthew Ronald Matheson.
All right, thank you. Mr. Matheson, you have one charge against you that's interfering with judicial proceedings. That's a domestic violence charge. And I think I filled this out.
Were you gonna?
Well, that's, I mean,
Yeah, that's. Okay, I don't know why I checked. And then the victims. Right. Gotcha. All right, sir, you have I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. You do have a hearing coming up. That's your arraignment, and that's set for September 5th, 2024 at 9 a.m. That's in the Ajo Justice Court. You're not to commit any acts of domestic violence. Now, sir, the victim wasn't asking for no contact, but there is a note in the file regarding a protective order. Apparently, there still is a protective order in place. So you have to comply with that protective order unless, okay, so even if the victim invites you over or something like that, you can't do that. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you'd need to be at that next hearing. If you're not present, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Sir, I do.
All right, thank you very much. All right, thank you, sir. You're excused.